each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. My Substack's okay. Yeah. Good afternoon. Sunday afternoon. Just went to a meeting in Ireland. Hi, it's Moreland. The first thing I said was, "My name's Dion. I'm an alcoholic." And now I'm the one with the accent. They had a pretty cool job. They had like a slideshow for the stuff and people reading. I like how interactive it was. I really appreciated that. Told me about this other group and how sometimes they kind of incorporate music into what they do and stuff. And I think that's a really neat idea. I really do. Not sure how I would go about it. Sounds like a lot of work. It's actually not too hard to put together a slideshow as long as you have the information that you need. Takes a little bit, but I think that'd be kind of cool. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah? We're going to keep talking? Yeah. Did you want some love, Kitty? Yeah. Yeah, you want a little bit of love? Come here. You going to be okay in my lap today? He doesn't really like being in my lap. I don't think he feels safe. See? There he goes. Yeah. What? A cat telling you how it wants to be pet? I swear to God, cats are alcoholics. God, I have so many. How many more pieces of trash can I have on my Money Man? Take 12 came out pretty good. We had a good time today. I think you will enjoy it. I was kind of surprised because the name of this was called "Taking It to the Streets," and I'm like, "Are you throwing in the song "Taking It to the Streets" by Doobie Brothers?" And he's like, "That's a great idea." I said, "We're gonna set it up." Taking it to the streets. I wish I could even kind of sound like Michael McDonald singing. Just, taking it to. That's not even close. We're talking about leaving victimhood today. Maybe we didn't act the victim. I know I did, though. I can't speak for you, but got a feeling if you're an alcoholic like me that it might be kind of true. All right. But today we're going to talk about getting out of victimhood, how to work with, and staying out of victimhood, and I'm not saying that people don't do things, that there are crappy things happening in life, but like everything that I kind of, sometimes we get specific, but I prefer the broad strokes. If we get it, particulars just tend to start arguments, and we're not really, we can debate, we can have different experiences, but there is no point in us arguing over recovery because I'm right. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. It was purely a joke, mostly. I have a lot of experience with this. We'll put it that way. And education. I'm educated. I'm educated. I'll go to the library. But most of it's experience. Most of it is experience. Let's get to it. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. I think now is a good time to bring up the if you'd like to come on, if you'd like to share your story, if maybe you have a topic or something you'd like to cover, maybe you just want to come on the Daily Trudge and do a topic real quick. Just send me something. We'll do what we can to get you on. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm happy to have you come on and we can go live or we can tell your story, whatever you want to do. Okay. I make it very easy for people that come on. You just you got to bring your experience, and I'll be able to take care of the rest. You know, well, and a good Wi-Fi connection that'll help. So I asked AI. I'm like, hey, AI, and let's remember that AI is a tool. It is just a tool for information. Okay, AI is not a therapist. It is not a doctor. It is not a real human being. Okay, it does not have a soul. Quit relying on AI on living your life, because really AI is just going to tell you what you want to hear, and it may not be the best thing. Its job is to go out and gather information. Well, is it gathering the right information? That's its job. So then it's your job to sift through it. Okay. I use Chat GPT as a tool. Okay. Like right now, it's helping me design some logos and stuff. They help me write the book. But but without the human element, AI is nothing. So we got to use it the right way. I know it's a fun tool to escape from reality. I know what that is. Okay. And even that can become an addiction, but that's not what we're talking about, right? So alcoholics fall into victimhood by shifting blame for their actions onto external factors, using their past traumas or difficulties as justifications for their addiction, feeling powerless and hopeless, and engaging in manipulative behaviors to avoid responsibilities and solicit rescue. This mindset often allows them to justify continued substance abuse, maintain low self esteem, and avoid the difficult work required for recovery, creating a cycle of negative emotions and self destructive behaviors. Now, this last part right here, creating a cycle of negative emotions, that is the insanity. That's the insanity that you're caught in this circle, this very violent, manipulative circle. Not all violence is physical. All right. But it's a justification. Okay. And we're not the only people that do this. A lot of people do it, huh? But here's the unfortunate part. Your consequences and the consequences of non-alcoholics is different. I don't know why we have different consequences. I don't know why. There's a lot of things I don't know why in this, but I don't ask why anymore. Because when I ask why, I'm arguing with God, and I think he's got better things to do than debate with Dion. All right. He's going to say, well, here's one of my children. They'll explain it to you. Is what's going to happen. Okay. But we tend to point the finger everywhere else. We refuse to look at ourselves. All right. And this creates a cycle. Okay. Now, let's take a chronic relapser. I was a chronic relapser. And you know what I figured out? I got addicted to relapsing and the process, including getting the Ativan or the lorazepam at the hospital, going to detox, shaking at meetings. People, oh, poor Dion, poor Dion. You know, at least I was getting attention. It was bad attention. It wasn't the right attention. And I became addicted to the frothy emotional appeal that went with the relapse. I did. Whoops. That's not right. What are we doing here? Wait a minute. I pressed a button and it's gone. And now it's back because, all right. Is it giving me? All right. It's giving me the. So, what does this do? What does victimhood mainly do? So, it has to do with justification. It's what these are our excuses for drinking. These are excuses for our bad behavior. right? Justification for drinking. A victim mentality can provide an excuse for continued alcohol abuse by shifting blame problems onto external factors like bad childhood, work stress, and other people's behavior. Yeah, I didn't have a very good childhood. I mostly blame mine on childhood. But did you carry around a shit list? I haven't had a shit list for years. It is gone. I don't keep track of who's on my shit list. I had an ongoing shit list. And if you were on it, I made sure I went out of my way to make sure like your life was hell, because then you would push back, and now I got people that would tangle with me. I kept them in my life so that I had a reason to continue drinking. Mhm. Yep. I would put myself in situations. I would I would do a lot of things. Now the sucky part is we don't even know we're doing it. We don't know. Another why that I do not have an answer for. We're bodily and mentally different from non-alcoholics. Bodily and mentally different. Right? Now you may have grown up in an alcoholic home. I did, right? And I lived in survival mode for most of my life. Survival mode is it's it's essentially it's the same thing. It's still victimhood, but there's more trauma involved in it. But what a great reason. Well, I had a very hard childhood, and Dion, you're 40. Oh, I'm 40? Well, fuck, when did that happen? Right? You mean I'm older now? That behavior I used to pull at 13 doesn't work in my mid 30s anymore. What's going on here? Because of my failure to grow up. Right? Avoidance of responsibility. I still watch that happen in AA. But this is the biggest avoidance of responsibility that I hear in AA. That's an outside issue. It's the biggest, what do you want to, excuse to not do what's in front of you. Oh, it's not my problem. Not my problem. You see somebody else in front of you being abused wherever. Maybe it's at the grocery store or something. And you do nothing. Not my problem. I shouldn't get involved with that. That's not my problem. I'm of the belief that if God puts it in front of me, it's kind of my problem. He doesn't just nefariously put shit in front of me. The devil does that. He'll do that. Devil likes to distract me. He's good at it too. He's got my number, man. Yeah. I'm easily distracted from getting what I need to get done. And I have not found anything in Western medicine that has helped it. And I tried. I tried a couple of things. Adderall. Tried Adderall. Feel like you have ADHD. I don't know that I have ADHD. I just think the devil's after my ass. I tried a couple of different things. It did not change. Actually, the Adderall made me hyper focused and I hated it. I did not like it. Aside from the fact that it brought my blood pressure way too high. Okay. Like I just drank 5 energy drinks or said, no, thank you. No, no, no. So avoiding responsibility instead of taking accountability for their actions and choices, individuals in a victim mindset attribute their problems to outside focus or fate forces or fate, which allows them to continue destructive patterns without self-reflection. And then we will go one step beyond this and allow others to determine our worth, and we will take that as fact when it can't be fact because we weren't even acting like ourselves. So how could it be fact? That'd be pretty tough to do, man. That'd be pretty tough. Focus on past traumas. I found the more I complained. The more I complained about my problems, the worse they got. I got to stop living in the problem and working the solution. That's what I had to do. I had to get to the solution. And we're going to get to the solution. Let's don't worry on that. Okay. So, addiction often has roots in past trauma or hardship. Not always, though, but often. A victim mentality can form as a coping mechanism, but it can also trap individuals in the pain of the past, making it difficult to see themselves as capable of overcoming these experiences. Okay. So, you might have other mental illnesses that will exacerbate this, which means it'll make it worse. Okay, I have PTSD, and that right there sometimes doesn't happen nearly as often as when it cropped up, which was about 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I've been working on it that long, man. Because I would think of something that was going, but then it would feel like it was happening right now. And then I would go into survival mode. And it comes with the shakes. It comes with the shakes. It's weird. Your whole body shakes. It's like a whole it's like your body is having an earthquake. Everything in your body is shaking. It's very it's no fun. Right? And it certainly doesn't help that, at least for me, and this is true of a lot of alcoholics. We didn't, if we did have friends growing up, it wasn't really true friendship because I didn't know how to be a friend. So it wasn't true friendship, but then we go on to say then you hear things, the stigma comes in around alcoholism. Oh, alcoholics are bad. Drugs are bad. That was for you, Amber. All right. Drugs are bad, kids. But so that makes it even worse because now we think everybody around us thinks that way of us. That in order to be an alcoholic, you need to be drinking out of a brown paper bag that's a Boone's bottle. And if you don't know what Boone's is, you just ain't old enough yet. It's a very cheap ass wine, I think. I know I had some Boone's, not as much Mad Dog 2020, Mad Dog 20. I keep getting it mixed up with Matchbox 20. It's Mad Dog 2020. Okay. Right. MD20 is what we called it. And that you're supposed to be living on Skid Row, that everybody in the world hates you. And this is the one, it's that thing right there that seems to be passed on that is keeping people from AA that are a little bit younger, man. So we got to get rid of that. So the focus on past traumas, addiction, we read that. Sense of helplessness. I'm unhelpable. I am beyond help. The combination of addiction, low self-esteem, and past suffering can lead to a deep-seated feeling of powerlessness, making it seem too impossible to escape the cycle of alcoholism. They barely even touched it, huh? It's deeper than that. There aren't words for a lot of this stuff. That's what makes it hard. That's why our experience is criterion. Yeah, because other people in the world don't experience this stuff except for alcohol. I'm not saying other people don't go through this, but the process we go through is different. Right? So you feel like you're beyond help. Okay. Well, if you're an alcoholic of my sort or even close, you are beyond human aid. I was beyond human aid. There was nothing in this world that could relieve my alcohol, relieve the obsession of wanting to fucking drink. Nothing except my higher power. That did it. That did it. Yeah. But that hopelessness. Then they said it can lead to a deep-seated feeling of powerlessness. When I read that, I thought to myself, that's a good thing. That will get you sober, that feeling of powerlessness. That is that we actually admit to the powerlessness, right? So negative thinking patterns. This is where it gets really, really, really bad. Patterns, patterns, patterns. What are patterns? They're habits. And patterns do not lie. Okay. It's often, I'll tell you what's going to happen in a week. I'm not psychic. I know what's going to happen in the recovery community because it's patterns. It's the same pattern. And patterns don't lie and they take on a natural course always. You cannot, and nobody can throw this off course. Right? So when we get into a pattern, it means it's going to happen every day. Right? So with my PTSD, like I had nightmares for years and I'd wake up wanting to fight. Okay. I'd wake up angry. There are times I woke up and I was throwing punches at the air, sweating. Okay. Just not very good. Nightmares disappeared, but my brain in the morning is still looking for that fight. That is a pattern. That was a pattern. It doesn't happen. It's getting less and very slowly, less and less. But what does my mind do the first thing I wake up in the morning? It looks for it looks for the shit list, but it's not there anymore. So it has to do some searching. So what do? I go make coffee and then I go to God because it's the one thing that I have found that's going to that's going to relieve me of that emotion at the moment, right? So, but this is where it gets tough. Listen to this. Addiction can create a feedback loop. That means it's going to continue feeding it back to you. Okay. It's like maybe you had a meme on your phone, but you're in the other room and the meme keeps playing over and over again. And it's a real short one and it's just over and over and over and over again. So addiction can create a feedback loop where negative emotions from withdrawal or overuse lead to negative thoughts, creating a pessimistic worldview and solidifying the victim mentality. This is what I would call the fuck it's. We have now reached the fuck it's, which is the worst place an alcoholic can be. But we each go through it. We each go through it. You know what? You know, these people over here, they've been doing this my whole life. People have been picking on me, this, and that. I'm just going through these again, right? So I justify my drinking. Well, you should meet my mother, right? Oh, if you met my mom, I'm not talking about my actual mother. I'm just making shit up here, right? If you grew up the way I grew up, right? And that takes us right into we're actually covering it all right here in just that line. We're also avoiding responsibility and focus on past traumas. See, I wasn't living in the now. Now you know why it is so important that we live in the now, that we understand a day at a time, a second at a time, an hour at a time, whatever you need to get through it. Okay. That's why it is important. Then we focus on the past traumas. We get to a point where we feel hopeless. Well, fuck it. I'm going to hell anyway. I might as well do it right. That is dangerous. It is very dangerous. This is where DUIs happen. This is where death of other people happen. This is where asphyxiation of vomit and dying comes into play. It is an alcoholic who has reached the fuckets should be locked up. I know. It doesn't seem fair, does it? It doesn't seem fair. It's not fair, but it's still part of it. All right. So the manifestation of victimhood Remember, we were talking about the negative thinking patterns? Well, those create manifestations. Okay. So, what are the manifestations? Blaming others, passive aggressive behavior, emotional manipulation, seeking rescues, and social isolation. Those are the things that when you do the victimhood, this is what you get. Manifestation is a dividend, it's what you get out of those actions. All right. So now that we've covered that, we're going to go to a different question. How do those in addiction get out of victimhood? I'm going to tell you the short answer to that. Go work the steps. I don't care what Columbia Village says. Acknowledge your emotions. That's not what we're talking about. How does an alcoholic get out of victimhood? I know it's the same question, but it's just telling me. Okay, so how does someone relinquish victimhood? Or get something. Okay. It's because I had to put, it's because I was throwing addiction in there. So we'll just cover victimhood and say, could still give me the same process. I'll just put it into our words. So relinquishing, which means letting go of, victimhood mindset is a process of reclaiming personal agency and shifting from feeling powerless to taking active responsibility for one's reactions to life. This transformation involves addressing past pain while consciously choosing to move forward rather than being defined by it. Now, maybe you have something beyond this, like I did, right? Like I'm diagnosed with 4 other mental illnesses. Actually, I'm trying to justify it here. I'm just going to call it for what it is. If you're an alcoholic, you need a therapist. You need a professional in your life to help you out, even if it's once a month. You need somebody that you can talk to like that. We all do. Oh, well, I didn't go through that much. Yeah, that just tells me that you had a lot of trauma and you don't remember it. And if you don't have somebody in your corner when it does appear, it's going to be worse. Okay. So what are the 12 steps? They're a good start. The 12 steps cleared away all the bullshit so I could get down to causes and conditions and start working on things. That is why therapists and counselors like people, they love it when they hear that you're going to a 12-step program and doing the work and doing the work. And I'm going to say it again, and doing the work. And they're going to know if you're doing the work or not. I tell you that. Right? So you got to reframe your identity. In this case, we were reborn. It is part of the 3rd step promises. It is about being rocketed into the 4th dimension, that you're looking at the world differently. Right? Because you were a drunk, then you got into maybe, let's just say AA, and now you're an alcoholic. Okay. Drunk is a name. Alcoholic is a mental illness. And now we can work with that. Okay. Okay. But to reframe your identity, you're going to have to accept what you are first. That's really hard to do. But you can do it. I did it. Amber did it. I know hundreds and thousands of people that have done it. Probably more than that. But I suck at numbers. So separate your identity from the negative things that have happened to you. Instead of defining yourself a victim, think of yourself as a survivor. Okay, so when you're shifting that, what's the difference between these? Well, the victim is still searching for all that other bullshit, whereas survivor goes and helps other people through their experience. I've been there before. Why don't we talk together since we know what's going on with each other? And what is Alcoholics Anonymous but that? All right. How many times do you hear people say, "Oh, being an alcoholic is not my identity. Being a drug addict is not my identity." And they are correct. It is part of my identity, but it is not my identity. See? You can be more than that. You could be better. You can definitely be better. Challenge negative self talk. If you call yourself a name, you apologize to you. The way what we say to ourselves matters. It does. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Let me mansplain that to you. Let me mansplaining. You ever been looking for, I don't know, your keys and you can't find them? Can't find them? Right? You look all over, can't find my keys, can't find my keys. And then other people might even come and help you. Hey, I can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Now, when people come to me with that, do you know what goes through my, do you know what I say? I can find it. I can find it. I know where it is. I can see it. I'll do it. What am I doing? I'm telling myself I can see it. And I'm about to tell you why. Because if I say, well, I can't find your keys either, I'm going to be stuck in them. And then you finally find your keys and they were sitting in front of you the whole time. What happened? What happened? You told yourself you couldn't see the keys. So your brain said, okay. And you couldn't see your keys. It took it out. That's why. When you constantly put yourself down, when you constantly say, even if it's a negative connotation that, I always get picked on. I always get picked on. You know what's going to happen? You're going to do shit that's going to make sure that you get picked on. That's what you are going to do. Yep. So, no name calling. None. Okay? Stop hitting yourself in the head and calling yourself a dumbass. Stop it. Okay? I tell you now, if I'm around you and you call yourself a name, I'm going to get upset with you because I don't like it when my friends call each other names. I don't like it. Even if it's you calling, well, I could do that because it's me. No. No. You're better than that. Okay? Not only that, but if you're calling yourself names, you're doing it to other people. You got to give that grace to yourself first. You are not a dumbass. No, you're a miracle. You are a walking, talking miracle of God who wants you to go out and save his children. Would you just let any alcoholic or any alcoholic at all go help your children? Why are we so special? Again, I don't know why. I don't need to know why. It's just fact. So, analyze question beliefs that reinforce powerlessness. Ask yourself if your thoughts are helpful or harmful and dispute the notion that you are helpless. You are not helpless. Maybe over alcohol, but that's what God's for. From there, I don't want to hear about how you're helpless. Okay? And stop using the serenity prayer as a reason not to do something. Oh, I'm powerless. Bullshit. As you are in the program longer, you're going to see how much power you have. It's called a higher power for a reason. This is not bad power. Maybe just change the word to influence, something like that. Yeah. Focus on the future. Probably best to think about what you could do than all the shit you couldn't. Right? But to do this, you're going to need to know a few things. And this is where step 4 and 5 come in handy. You're going to need to know your limitations and your strengths. And challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do something hard. Okay? Because we need to create those new neural synapses in our head. And the only way that gets done is by challenging yourself, by being a little uncomfortable. Instead of ruminating on the problems or past injustices, redirect your energy toward what you have learned and what you have accomplished. What is that? For us, what is that? That's claiming progress. Claiming progress. Right there. Ding, 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 ding. All right. Build personal power by cultivating resilience. Intentionally build your capacity to bounce back from setbacks. Okay. I've been saying this a lot. It's still true. Still true. A problem is only a problem when you decide it's a problem. Until then, it is an opportunity to be a better person, to show other people what you have learned, to be a better example, right? There's a lot here, so I'm going to kind of take responsibility. If you do something wrong, admit it. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. It's going to be over soon. You went through that fourth and fifth step. You cleared away the wreckage of your past. Don't create new wreckage. Stop burning the darn bridges behind you and enjoying it. I used to enjoy burning bridges. No, no. I might need that bridge someday. I may never come back to that bridge, but what about the other people that need to walk across it? See, I'm not the only person using this bridge either. And enjoying it. That's kind of a problem, Dion. Increase self-efficacy. Believe in your own ability to complete tasks. Yeah. Start with small, manageable steps. Let's say you're cleaning a room and it's a mess. Start with one corner. Just start with one little area. Just start there. Next day, do another area. Next day, and before you know, by the end of the week, the room's going to be clean. Then you maintain it. These are the maintenance steps 10, 11, and 12. Once a week, you take 5 minutes and you clean it up, and now it stays that way. You can do it. Okay? Take proactive action. A key difference between victim and a survivor is a willingness to take action. When faced with a problem, focus on solution and steps that can move you forward. All right. Practice forgiveness. Cultivate gratitude. Set healthy boundaries. You're probably pretty familiar with a lot of these. But forgiveness. Okay. Forgiving others or yourself is a courageous act. So, when you call yourself a name, and if you do this in front of people, they're going to think you're weird, but then they're going to start doing it. Dion, you're an asshole. Oh, you know what? That wasn't cool. I'm sorry, dude. I shouldn't have said that to myself. There's a lot of power in that right there. It's like a lot of people tell me the reason that they like what I do is because I'll make a mistake and correct it in front of everybody. Do you think that when I do that and then I end here, I get off here and go think about it? No, I don't. No, I don't. I cultivate gratitude. Cultivate gratitude. Now, what does it say? When you find yourself wallowing in pity, shifting your focus to what you are grateful for can interrupt negative thought patterns. Sure, it can. But cultivate requires action. And writing a list of your gratitudes is not an action. Helping another person is. Go to a meeting. Go chair a meeting. Go do some service work at a meeting. Okay? It is the actions of doing things for other people that will cultivate gratitude. That gratitude will keep you for the day, where a gratitude list is going to keep you okay for about, 12 minutes. The mind shifts pretty quick. There's a lull. We have lulls throughout the day, right? Set healthy boundaries. Okay. People with victim mentality may try to manipulate others from seeking pity. That was my big one, seeking pity for, you poor thing. You poor, because I was still 13, right? Setting firm boundaries protects your emotional energy. All right. Let's kind of start to wrap this up. Find positive relationships. When I first came into AA, what they would say is stick with the winners, not the wieners. Stick with the winners. You'll know them. And when it comes to finding positive relationships, I got to tell you something right now. Listen to your intuition. There might be somebody out there that oh yeah, I love them. Yeah, they're awesome. They're great. Yeah, and they're being a bunch of lemmings, and you're over there going, there is something not quite right here. Go find your people. You can do what I did. I started my own AA group. And what I did is it was invite only. I invited like 12 to 15 people. And that's how I got started. Now it's an open meeting that's listed and everything. But that is how I was able to find positive relationships. Disclose and process the trauma. There's that fourth and fifth step again. If your victimhood mindset stems from genuine trauma, speaking with trusted friends, family, or a professional can help you process and heal. Yeah. About 2, 3 weeks ago, I confronted something, and it's been kind of hard since. It's slowly been lessening. Right. And I've been asking God on who I should talk to about what is going on with me because I need to do it. I need to do it this week. So, and I'm going to. And seek professional help. I would highly recommend seeking professional help. Okay. Well, but Dion, I tried therapy before and it didn't work. Yeah, you're right. It didn't work. See how you're talking to yourself and it didn't work. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, well, you're not that person anymore. You want to know why your therapy didn't work? Because you're too busy playing the victim. You ain't being honest. Therapists cannot help you unless you are being honest. They cannot read your mind and they cannot fix you. They are there to guide you. A good therapist will let you run your mouth until the end and guide you and kind of nudge you. Oh, yeah, what do you think about this? Oh, yeah. And then is that something you really want, or is it more over here? Is it, asking these concerning questions, and they will guide you. Okay. But the problem isn't solved until the solution comes out of your mouth. That's when it's solved. See? Heal thyself. Mm. All right. Thank you all for being here. I'll see some of you in 2 hours. Well, actually, it's Monday. No, I won't. Because the only one here is Amber, and she goes to a big book study on Mondays. I believe, if I'm correct on that. I don't remember. Anyway, and I kind of want to go to that too. Why'd you have to start it at that time? All right, I'll get better at that stuff. So, all right, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.